little red button? Yeah, push the little red button.
Welcome to the Netpicks podcast, episode 4.
Yes.
It's been that long, I don't remember. I think it's episode 4.
Yes.
They call me the captain, and very appropriately for this episode, the goose to my maverick is, of course, the podcast machine, Mike Larkin. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. I like that. I'm up at early o'clock for you, and I'm happy. Done, Maverick.
Yes, it actually is good morning because usually when we record, it's morning for you and afternoon for me, but it's morning for both of us right now. And I didn't even know what an AM looked like.
It's 6 o'clock in the fucking morning, and says to me, "Hey, Mike, you want to do a podcast? World class podcast."
It wasn't exactly like that. I mean, we were supposed to be recording a little bit later, but you were awake anyway, so I said, "So we just do this now."
Bro, you know I'm awake. You know I don't.
I know you don't sleep.
No sleep, man. I'm like Vince McMahon.
I think you're on Australian time.
Okay, well, first and foremost, shout out to my girl Ty Emery. She has an Australian time, and a lot of people do. Well, I'll be honest with you. I think the latest I've ever done an interview with, I think, was the Australian time. I've done one at like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, it happens. It's the grind, brother. It's the grind.
Yeah. All right. So if you remember, ladies and gentlemen, in the last episode, we drew Tom Cruise movies for this episode, and I think that was about a month ago, so we've had plenty of time to watch the Tom Cruise movies. We've got 2 each, of course, and before we begin, every movie has to be at least a year old in the interest of professionalism on my part, even though I don't know what the hell's going on right now with cinemas, but we'll see. So before we open the curtains, let's kick things off with 5 films or less, because it has taken us about 5 or 10 minutes to solve it before, so if we get it done at the start of the episode, we've got the whole episode to work it out. So we'll each pick a co-star from one of our 2 Tom Cruise movies and try to connect them in 5 movies or less. So I'll make it nice and easy to begin with, Mike.
Okay.
And Paul Newman.
Yes. Okay. You want to go with The Color of Money? That's nice.
Okay, that's a spoiler.
That was gonna. No, that was gonna be one of mine. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Oh, you went with Color of Money?
I didn't. I was going to put that, but I picked a different one. I was looking at them. Well, I was looking at them. I'm like, all these are damn good. But I'm like, all right, you took The Color of Money. Go ahead.
Okay, so which co-star are you going with?
Okay, let me go up to it. I am going to go with Ralph Macchio.
Ooh. Okay, 2 things. Number 1, that could be pretty tough to connect to Paul Newman. And number 2, I didn't even know Ralph Macchio made a movie with Tom Cruise.
Yep.
You know what? And let's kick it off with that one. Which movie are we talking about?
The Outsiders.
Okay. I'm guessing this was 80s.
1983, brother. It's based off the book by S.E. Hinton, and here's why I remember it. 7th grade, Mrs. Pruce's East Islip, not at the time, it was the Islip Terrace Junior High School. We actually read the book and we watched the film The Outsiders in 7th grade English class, and I remember I loved it. It talks about pretty much the socials, the socials. C. Thomas Howell's in it. We got Patrick Swayze up in there with his shirt off because...
crap, I'm looking at the cast now.
Have you never seen The Outsiders, bro?
No, but I mean, Emilio Estevez, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe. Oh, Diane Lane, too.
Oh, she was fine as wine in this, baby. Cherry Valance, baby. Yeah. You guys, if anybody's never seen the socials and the gang warfare of the Outsiders and just everything from different cliques and really just resonates with people, and the fact that Ralph Macchio gets friggin' stabbed and Do It for Johnny and Matt Damon, I will say this, people. Read the book. Watch the movie. It's one of those things that's a timeless classic because of the Do It for Johnny line, but it also just showcases the fact that Johnny loves Robert Frost. We get to know a lot about the characters. We get to know about Patrick Swayze and his muscles because that was what the Derry character did. If he also represents the book, well written. There's a lot of continuity between the book and the movie, and Tom Cruise played Steve Randall in this movie, and Tom Cruise was great in this, as was everybody. So that's why I picked it, because everybody had their different role from different groups from the socials, and everybody, it leads to the big gang fight in the town. Like you talked about Two Bit being Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe being Soda Pop, Bop, she bop, the clock is ticking and we can't stop, won't stop. This whole lineup is just great from top to bottom. Like I said, encompasses gang warfare, the social classes as well. You see them getting into fight at the drive-in movie. But by the way, you want to talk about Diane Lane? People watch the drive-in movie spot where she tells them to stay golden, pony boy, because let me tell you something. She was looking fine as wine. And that part right there, man, with C. Thomas Howell, you sly dog before you were a soul man. Hello. I digress. But yeah, check out the book. Check out the movie, The Outsiders. I don't even want to spoil it for him, Dazzy Dangerously, because it's a timeless classic that each and everybody needs to check out. It's one of his early films. It's The Outsiders, baby. Oh, yeah. And you've never seen this? I'm shocked.
She was 18.
Yes, that's correct.
Diane Lane. You know who else was in it?
Yes.
Flea.
Leif Garrett?
No, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and also played Needles in Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Wait a minute. I forgot Flea was in. Wait, Flea was in The Outsiders and I didn't even see it?
Apparently,
what did he play?
He's sock number 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had no idea. Apparently, no, Nicolas Cage and Melanie Griffith. I totally forgot about that. Oh, Daz, it's not sock.
Is it SOC?
No, it's the socials, for the socials.
Or Soch. Soch number 3.
Yes. Soch.
Heather Langenkamp is also in it, which is a throwback to Halloween, where we talked about Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes. Yep. You also have Glenn Withrow is also in this as Tim. For those that remember Glenn Withrow. You remember Glenn Withrow?
Glenn Withrow. He looks like Johnny.
Got married. Yep. Peggy Sue got married. That's what he was known for. There's a lot of people that, like I said, this cast is timeless. Ralph Macchio, there's Darren Dalton, Michelle yeah, okay. You know what it is, too? I look at it from a stance of it's based in, like, the 60s, because it's 1967 was when it came out. It was released in 83. But, and I will say this, because you know how, because we've talked about this, and we're going all over the place shooting the breeze about this movie, but you know how, like, sometimes when you read the book, and then you watch the film, there's no continuity, there's nothing that's completely different from the book?
Yeah.
They pretty much nailed each and every part, like, spot on, as we saw in the book.
See, it's nice when that happens.
Yes, and you have to read the book. And for those who've never read the book by Susan Hinton, which is S.E. Hinton, Susan Eloise Hinton, it's good. That's one of her books that she's well known for, is The Outsiders. It's good. It's good.
Good.
Good. Bruce Almighty style. Hello, I saw what you did there.
All right. Well, you already know one of them, so my first one is, as you said, The Color of Money, which is only 3 years later, in 1986. Of course, it stars Tom Cruise and the iconic Paul Newman, a.k.a. Blue Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It was also a sequel to an old black and white movie called The Hustler, which came out in 1961, in which Paul Newman plays the same character, Fast Eddie Nelson. Now, I chose this because my favorite era of Tom Cruise is the 80s. It's before we had all the plastic surgery and just became weird, and, you know, what's the thing he's into? Spaceology or something? Scientology, yeah. Yeah, he's become very weird.
Hold on. Before you move on, so you're not a fan of, she's so cool, Kate Holmes, she's the best, she's so cool, and pretty much up in the chair and Oprah?
And look how it turned out.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him in the 90s, but he just went batshit crazy. And then he made The Mummy. Oof. Wow. But I digress. He was great in the 80s at playing the cocky, arrogant, you know, late 20s kind of guy. And Color of Money is a perfect example because he's an incredibly talented pool player. And, of course, with the ego that he's got, he's just very, very cocky about it. He somehow managed to pull Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, who, of course, in the 80s was smoking. I think she just done Scarface, or it was just I think that was just before this. What year was Scarface? I'm sure that was 83 as well, to be honest.
No, Scarface was
it
like
was 83.
2 or 3 years 83. 83.
Yeah. So she'd just done Scarface a couple of years before. Here she's kind of the moody girlfriend of Tom Cruise, she also kind of doubles as his manager. And he just happens to be playing in Paul Newman's bar. Of course, Paul Newman's a veteran pool player, hustler. And, they kind of get talking, and Fast Eddie kind of takes Vincent under his wing and takes him on the road in the pool tournament. But things happen along the road. Of course, Tom Cruise's character, Vincent, is cocky and arrogant, like we said, and he gets a little carried away at times. And things don't always work out, and they end up kind of on opposite sides in the tournament. And then, I don't want to spoil it really, but something happens during the tournament, and they end up playing a game together right at the end.
Hey, Daz, do you smell that?
I smell what I'm cooking.
No, do you smell that smoke? No money. Come on, Daz. Dangerously. The quotes, man. The quotes. I'm not spoiling the whole movie. I'm just giving you quotes.
There's a couple of cameos in it too. Well, not cameos, but familiar faces that you wouldn't have recognized back then, but you definitely recognize now. John Turturro, who I always recognize from Transformers.
You know what I got to say about John Turturro, man? One of my favorites from like comedies, and also the fact that he can be serious as well. And I will say this right now because I've talked about it with my main man Robert Davis and Moses Marquez. Your ass better see this movie. Watch John Turturro and Secret Window. You will not be disappointed.
Oh yes, Secret Window is a great movie.
Can't talk about it.
In fact, we need to do Johnny Depp at some point.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, man.
Bill Cobbs is also in it.
Ah, yes, Bill Cobbs. Wasn't he in oh god, what the hell was it? It was like The Hitter, right? Wasn't that the name of the movie?
I don't remember that, but he was in the last episode we talked about. He was in Jack.
Oh yes, yeah. No, that was one of his earlier films. Oh, yo, I didn't even know he was on Walker, Texas Ranger, and The Sopranos. I have to go watch one of those episodes now. God dang, hello.
Wait a minute. Was he in Jack? Am I getting him confused with Bill Cosby?
No, yeah, that's Bill Cosby. What are you doing? Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right.
I apologize to Bill Cobb. Jeez.
I'm about to say, man? You just totally ruined a man's life.
I just ruined his life.
Jesus.
But the names are very similar.
Cobbs.
Cobbs, Cosby, But it also stars a very young Forrest Whitaker. And in fact, he is he's a very small character. There's only one scene, but he plays a key role in it because he kind of derails Paul Newman's character when he ends up hustling him.
One of my favorite actors, such very underrated as well as Forrest Whitaker. And I will say this, as like a 10-year-old kid when this movie came out, here's a very underrated film for you. Have you ever seen Forrest Whitaker in Phone Booth with Colin Farrell?
Oh, yes. With the voice of Kiefer Sutherland.
Yep. Now, I'm going to say this right now, people. We'll probably talk about it on this show. If you've never seen Phone Booth with Forrest Whitaker, Colin Farrell, and Kiefer Sutherland, it's amazing. Very underrated.
Oh, yeah. Now, speaking of small characters that we didn't, realize were in the movie, you didn't realize Flea was in The Outsiders. You know who I didn't realize was in Color of Money?
Who's that, Dazzy Dangerously?
Freaking Iggy Pop.
Oh, the man, Iggy Pop.
Apparently, he was he's listed as a skinny player.
All right, fair enough.
I can see that.
Well, this was his time, man. The Godfather of Punk.
Yeah. Of course, he was in the Crow sequel, City of Angels, around this time as well. That may have been like 92.
Yep.
So yeah, he was in his prime.
Yeah.
Another person I didn't notice in it was Brad Garrett, who of course is Raymond's big brother in Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay, I will say one of the films I do remember him as, because, me and my Disney films here, he was the principal in The Pacifier with Vin Diesel. Have you ever seen that?
I try to avoid Vin Diesel movies.
Yeah, okay, wait, hold on. Stop right now. You mean like Fast and Furious and friggin'
Okay. The last Fast and Furious I watched was the fourth one.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take that.
We're now coming up to what, number 9?
Yes. Okay. All right. See here. This is why I love you. The last Fast and Furious I watched was Fast Five, and I never saw any of the others. That was the last one I watched. So what's interesting about Vin Diesel is I didn't even realize it, but one of the first movies I saw with him as a kid, he was the voice of the Iron Giant. Do you remember the Iron Giant?
Yeah, and I was always pissed that it was so different from the book.
Yes,
It was
that is
almost
very
a completely different story from the book.
okay. So this is the little things that you remember as a kid, right? I remember I first purchased that movie at Pathmark because the Pathmark that I grew up at on East Islip, right? So you go into the Pathmark, it has all the signs, every the items and things, like right smack dab in the middle, squeeze in the middle, smack dab in the middle was the videos and DVDs. I remember picking up the Iron Giant, and son of a gun, I got the little action figure in it, man. So I still have the Iron Giant somewhere up in his house, man. Because back in the day, when you would buy like Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein to get yourself a little flashlight up in there, man, it's cool as hell. And you were like friggin' raining for days, man. I was on cloud nine, man. Yo, I got me the Iron Giant. Yo, I got me a flashlight. Woo, the times, man, the times. It's the little things. It's the nuances. But yes, that's what I remember when I first picked up the Iron Giant on VHS, which, like you mentioned so eloquently, is very different from the book.
I was pissed because I read that book in school and then I bought it myself and I read it again and again and again. So when I heard they were making a movie about it, I was excited to see this giant, massive space angel bat demon thing that's in the book. And of course there wasn't one in the movie because it was completely different. Instead of taking on this space angel bat demon, the Iron Giant took on the army.
That he did. Well, it also gave the cast on that one too. I'm sure we'll talk about this in the future too. Vin Diesel, Jennifer Aniston, Harry Connick Jr. Man, there was a cast of that. Christopher McDonald.
Yeah, and another sitcom connection, John Mahoney.
Yes, John Mahoney. John Mahoney. He ain't no baloney because it's John Mahoney.
And another guy who keeps popping up, Emmett Walsh, was also in it.
Yeah, buddy.
But we digress. This isn't a Tom Cruise movie, but it did piss me off.
Sometimes you gotta let it out, brother.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
What's your second Tom Cruise movie? I think I know what it is, unless you change your mind, because it was something I was going to pick.
All right, tell me, do you think it's an 80s movie or a 90s movie?
Well, the one you mentioned was one that I would have picked, but I didn't want to go for one of my favorite ones. I wanted to go more obscure Tom Cruise, I think 90s.
I did pick a 90s one.
1992.
You can't handle the truth.
It's classic.
Okay, so I'm going to put it like this. Now, this movie came out when I was born. So I watched it years later. And it's still, anytime it comes on, like my parents and I will watch it, it's like Tombstone. I'm your Huckleberry. My folks and I will watch it. We love us some, we love us some nostalgia. We love us these time of movies, right? Fucking Few Good Men has Cuba Gooding Jr. in it and Tom Cruise before Jerry effing Maguire. We got Show Me the Money. We got that goddamn Jack Nicholson. We got Demi Moore. We got Kevin Bacon. We have a list, dare I say, a cornucopia of talent up in this son of a bitch. Nathan Jessup, fuck you, Jack Nicholson, because he was a dick in this movie. You got Kiefer Sutherland up in here. You got James Marshall. You got everyone. You got friggin' Wolfgang Bodison. Oh, my goodness gracious. I will just say this. All you need to know is you can't handle the truth. We have each and everything of this movie is just encompassed with greatness after greatness after greatness. It's just, I don't want to spoil it for anybody because I'm going to tell you right now, because here's the thing, and I got to tell you this. When kids were born in the 2000s, right, all they know Tom Cruise for is like the crappy Mission Impossibles. Not the first one that was really good. Not even the second one that has, I Disappear by friggin' Metallica. Do you when I'm gone? Do you teach me why I'm here? You know what I'm saying? And then you got like Vanilla Sky and shit. Like, fuck that. Watch yourself A Few Good Men. Watch yourself just everything that has to do with colonels and lieutenants in the army. You can't handle the truth because Jack Nicholson was a smug SOB. I got to tell you something. Truly, honestly, Daz, every time I see this movie and it still holds up today, I want to punch Jack Nicholson in his face. And dare I say, I want to mollywop Jack Nicholson, Dazzy Dangerously. So, yes, A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. And for any wrestling fans that listen to this, go to WrestleMania 21, John Cena, JBL.
Yes.
Did you go to the Basham's at ringside? You can't handle the truth. Son, we live in a world where I'm the champion.
I'm going to say it. Jack Nicholson was robbed of the Oscar that year.
Oh, yeah, he was. He absolutely was. Oh, fuck it. He got screwed. You know what I say? People say Bret Hart got screwed. Jack Nicholson got screwed.
Jack
Fuck
Nicholson
Bret Hart.
did get
Fuck
screwed.
you, Jack Nicholson. God damn it.
Yeah, the whole...
Oh, dude,
Demi Moore was great in it too, yes.
I just forgot. Yo, this was a couple of years before she did G.I. Jane, man.
Yeah.
Because, like, right after this, remember, she does A Few Good Men, and then friggin' as we get towards 97, she's Lieutenant in friggin' G.I. Jane. She gave us the iconic line, "Suck my dick. Suck my dick." She was looking like Sinead O'Connor in this bitch, telling everybody to suck her dick. Oh, good, Des, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, the court proceedings and everything, it was so brilliantly written, A Few Good Men. And you also see a transformation in Tom Cruise's character in this one. He starts off as the cocky, arrogant guy, and then he kind of redeems himself. You know, to begin with, he's trying to shut this case down in 5 minutes, but he really gets into it.
Well, that's the thing. You ultimately dismiss a case like this, and then you start, getting into the nooks and crannies and getting really diving deep into it. And then you realize, oh, shit, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing a lot of people do. You know what it is? It's the common thing that equates to real life. When you're at jury duty like a son of a gun, because I've been to jury duty, I've been up there, and one of the jury duties I had was criminal justice, and I got out of that like bad out of hell, because no thank you. You know what I'm saying? No thank you. I've gotten out of many jury duties, okay, people, so I digress. When you're at jury duty, you don't want to be there. Just, you know what? He's guilty. Fry him. Bada bing, bada boom. Like, get me out of here. No. You know what I'm saying? There's people that go into it when you're a part of jury duty or any trial where they just want to, investigate and do more into the evidence and look more into stuff. And then there's people that just want to get the fuck out. But, it is what it is. So that kind of equates to real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, unless you're really, really, really interested in, court proceedings. I mean, hell, we've spoke about My Cousin Vinny plenty of times, and they actually use it sometimes to study case law.
I'll hold you in contempt. No, that's fun.
I don't like your attitude. What else is new?
What else is new?
What else? I mean, yeah, Kiefer Sutherland as well. He was also a real prick in the movie, which is so out of character for him.
That's what I remember, too, because I'm like, what the fuck? Because Cruise and Sutherland were dicks. Kevin Bacon wasn't bad at all in this, to be honest with you.
Nah. I think he knew that the privates were innocent, but they wouldn't win. Or he didn't think they'd win. And then, of course, entered Tom Cruise. With the fucking phony flight records and stuff.
All right, I have a quick thing to say about Kevin Bacon that's actually kind of funny. Did I ever tell you what the first ever movie I think I ever remember seeing or actually viewing of Kevin Bacon was?
Ooh, I'm guessing Flatliners or Footloose.
No, obviously I knew about them, but I think the first ever movie I watched as a kid growing up in the 90s, do you remember Stir of Echoes?
I've seen it, yes, a long time ago.
Oh my God, that shit tripped me out because my mom had it on VHS. I think I remember watching it with my mom as a kid because I'm like, oh, what's this? And my mom apparently loved the movie. And I'm watching this. I'm like, this is like trippy as hell. It's a lot to take in for a 7-year-old, man. You know what I'm saying? And then here's the thing. Right after that, he does My Dog Skip with friggin' Frankie Muniz. And Frankie Muniz is crying, goes, Skip, Skip. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, what a total 180 that was. The little things, man.
Whatever happened to him?
Whatever happened? Okay, first and foremost, one of the most underrated Kevin Bacon movies, I'm going to tell you right now, has John Goodman in it, and it's the shiznick. It's called Death Sentence. Have you ever seen Death Sentence?
No.
So they kill his kid, right, as a part of a gang initiation. Matthew O'Leary's in it too, right? So Kevin Bacon goes out of his way and kills the fuck out of Matthew O'Leary, man. And then friggin' all the gang members want to have revenge because they killed his brother. You know what I'm saying? And Kevin Bacon just shoots them all and is this real badass. He goes to John Goodman for guns, and he has the iconic line, John Goodman, dude, because he wants him to go kill John Goodman's kid. You know what he tells him? You know what he tells him, Dazzy?
What?
He tells Kevin Bacon, kill the little piss pants, see if I care. And I'm like, oh my God, kill the little piss pants and see if I care. This motherfucker is a legend. Oh my goodness. John Goodman. John Goodman.
Wow.
Yep. That happens. Kill the little piss pants, see if I care. You gotta watch that sentence, man. You gotta watch that sentence.
Just for John Goodman.
Just for John Goodman. Well, Kevin Bacon's a badass too because he fucking changes his head and he goes out and fucking kills everybody. But John Goodman, kill the little piss pants, see if I care.
Okay. So yeah, that's not just one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. But I didn't want to pick it because, like I said, I wanted to go for something a little more obscure. So we had Color of Money, which, you know, honestly, it should be more famous than it is when you've got Tom Cruise and Paul freaking Newman.
That's true. But here's the thing, too. Like, it's so tough to choose all these movies. Like, I'll be honest with you, I was just going to choose Cocktail because, you know, John Effin Stamos on the drums and freaking Kokomo, and I love Kokomo. But it's not a bad movie, but I'm thinking to myself, nah. And as I look at 90s, I was originally also thinking about picking Jerry Maguire because you complete me and show me the money. But I'm like, eh. And then you have Interview with the Vampire, so I'm like, it's kind of tough. You know what I'm saying? Because I really did like Interview with the Vampire. Were you an Interview with the Vampire fan?
Absolutely.
Fucking love it. But the other thing I have to mention is, here's one that's very underrated. If you look into the 2000s, have you ever seen him in Collateral with Jamie Foxx?
I think so.
He plays a freaking dick in that movie. And I mean, you have the Minority Report and Vanilla Sky, but I'm like, So yeah, I had to go with friggin' A Few Good Men because it's just a classic, and it really just shows the growth of Tom Cruise. And of course, Top Gun, because, you know, you son of a gun with your Goose and Maverick. I was just gonna start singing, "You lost that love and feeling."
What's the one when he's a hitman and he pays a cab driver to drive him around?
That's Collateral.
That's Collateral. Yes, I have seen it.
That's the one where, yeah, that's the one with him and Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is the cab driver.
That's it. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing you didn't pick Cocktail.
Why, you picked Cocktail?
I picked Cocktail.
You picked Cocktail.
It's
because of Kokomo. Is it John Stamos and Kokomo?
It's just a fun movie.
It is, but Kokomo, man, Kokomo.
And you know the thing is, it's also contagious because every time I watch it, I just want to spin bottles and stuff. Like, before I watched it for this episode, the last time I watched it before that, the very next night actually I think it was that night in work, you know, I was picking up cups and chucking them around and spinning them around, and people were like, "Well, you're energetic tonight." I've just watched Cocktail, sorry.
Fucking
I'm not
Dazzy
going to
over
spin
here
any glass, I'm just going to spin paper cups.
marking out for Cocktail at the job, man.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help. I also added some of the soundtracks to our playlist. So, you know, I've got freaking...
Kokomo.
I've got All Shook Up playing. And
Yes.
there we go. Spin the cups.
Yep.
It also stars Elizabeth Shue, who I believe... Okay, so this was 88. So she'd already done Karate Kid. She was about to do Back to the Future. And, you know, if rumors are true, she's about to come back to the Karate Kid in Cobra Kai.
I want it. I want it.
Hell yeah. She's actually kind of ripped now, isn't she? She's like a real kind of bodybuilder. Well, not a bodybuilder, but, you know.
Oh, you know me, man. I'm looking at these photos right now of a 57-year-old Elizabeth Shue. How you doing? I don't want to keep it moving. I just want to say, how you doing, Elizabeth Shue? You go, girl. Hold on. Let me get to these images for a second, man. Give me a second with your body bones up. Oh, yeah, there she is. She's all like, oh, okay, all right, with that smile on your face. Yep. Well, what'd it do, man? She's got this, like, red dress on, looking fine as wine. Yep. Oh, there's Dude, there's one on TMZ where she's flexing. Oh, that girl's got some muscles.
One thing pisses me off about Cocktail. Actually,
What?
two things. I'll get to one in a minute. But the first one is the critics' response. They were so harsh on Cocktail. They hated it.
All right, you see, from a critic standpoint, I can't see how you can hate it because it's just fun. And then there's the other reason. You know what the other reason is, Daz?
What's that?
Kokomo. And also the fact, because I just want to keep saying Kokomo, but it's also the fact that I thought it was good because it's fun. Like you mentioned, they spin in the bars, they're having fun. It shows the overall bar life. And that's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? And I really do just enjoy the fact that he's a bartender. And also, you know what it is, Dazzy? It's the ambiance. It's just the ambiance. You know?
It makes you want to be Tom Cruise.
That it does. That it does. I don't know why people hate this so much. I never understood that.
I mean, there was things like it's a typical romantic chick flick. There's no surprises in it. I thought there were surprises. I didn't expect friggin' Brian Brown over there to kill himself.
Also, I'm going to say this right now. You know what this was, Dazzy? As I'm looking at this and as I'm kind of like reflecting on this, you know what Cocktail was?
It was a perfect cocktail.
It also paved the way for Coyote Ugly.
I guess so, yeah.
And
So-
my goodness, man.
The second thing that pissed me off about it was actually in the movie when he goes off with the rich chick in Jamaica just to win a bet. Like, Brian, what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, out of all the bets, you just take the chick to Jamaica, just so he can say he took the chick to Jamaica. It's dumb.
Yeah.
And then you know what else too, right? You know he wanted to take. You know why he wanted to take her to Jamaica?
Coconuts.
No, he wanted to take her to Jamaica, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama.
Yes. Was that? I don't think that song was in the movie. It should have been.
It should have been, man.
But despite, I mean, it actually won a Golden Raspberry for Worst Picture. But despite the overwhelmingly negative reviews, it still made a hell of a lot of money. From a $20 million budget, it made $170 million.
Damn. Well, you know what it is too. People could say what they will about, like you said, the Raspberry, but you and I could both agree and concur on this. It's a timeless classic.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Now, here's what pisses me off. If you go on Wikipedia and you surmise the film, did you know that there is an Indian romantic comedy called Cocktail that came out in 2012?
No. No.
They did. They did an Indian romantic comedy drama called Cocktail, directed by Homi Adijania, and I'm just like, friggin' India, man. Bollywood motherfuckers.
Sweet Jesus.
Bollywood, bro. Bollywood.
Sweet Jesus.
Can we talk about the soundtrack for a second, too? Because as
Yes.
I'm looking at this, I'm getting all happy.
Yes, it's a quintessential 80s soundtrack.
That it is. That it is. Kokomo, baby. Kokomo. But no, besides Kokomo, we're going to talk about
Robert Palmer.
this. Yep, Robert Palmer.
Man.
Oh, my God. As I'm looking at this, man, you got Robert Palmer. You got Rave On by John Mellencamp. You got Oh, I Love You So by Preston Smith. Tutti Frutti, Little Richard. Hell yes. We got friggin' Powerful. Okay. You're forgetting the big one, man. You're forgetting one of the big ones around this time. And it was his only hit, but it was a big one at the time. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to think what else is on the soundtrack. Ah, crap. Is it the opening song?
No, I'm talking about Don't Worry, Be Happy, man, Bobby McFerrin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was thinking of the opening
Don't
song.
worry. Yes, but still, Don't Worry, Be Happy.
That was his only hit?
That was like his only hit, Bobby McFerrin, man. Here's a little song I wrote.
Man,
Don't-
that song's huge. But, well, it wasn't going to be the opening song because, hell, that was by Starship.
Fucking love it. Fucking love it.
And we got the Hippie Hippie Shake.
Do the hippie, hippie shake. Yeah.
So I
Hit the hippie shake. I'm gonna start singing it, man. I hate you because we're bringing this up, man. It's about the hippie shake,
uh,
earthquake.
I think we've got a thing on this show of saying ignore the critics. Definitely ignore the critics on Cocktail. If you've never seen it, watch it.
You want me to? You know what they are? You know what the critics are, man? You want to know what the critics are?
Assholes.
Assholes.
Damn right. Okay. I think those are all four.
Yeah, those are all four.
All right. Okay, let's head to the net lists where we rank all the movies we've talked about on this show from best to worst. Your list currently, from bottom to the top, goes 1BR 2019, Superbad 2007, Twisted Desire in 1996, One of the Guys from 1985, 1987's The Lost Boys, and top of your list is currently The Shining. So first of all, where we put in The Outsiders.
I have a tough list. I'll put The Outsiders. I'll probably put it up where I have Twisted Desire. I'd probably put Twisted Desire down and put The Outsiders up there.
Okay, so Outsiders in fourth place. And, oh man, this is going to be a tough one. A Few Good Men.
Fuck. What else did I have there? I said you said The Shining, and what else did I have?
So above Twisted Desire, you had The Shining, The Lost Boys, and then One of the Guys.
Okay, it definitely goes above just One of the Guys. I love that movie, but it's way better than just One of the Guys. All balls itch. It's a fact. You can't handle the truth. How it does that?
Okay, now the real question is it better than The Lost Boys?
No, you know, fuck you.
It's your list.
Shut up. No, but now I gotta think. Is it better than The Lost Boys? Lost Boys is a horror comedy. This one is just like straight, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? But is it better than The Lost Boys? No. I can't say it because Lost Boys, you know, if I could just watch Corey Haim singing the Bubble Bath, I ain't got a son, I ain't got a daughter, I'm a lonely boy, and that iconic Nanook just absolutely mollywopping Jason Patrick on the floor. What about Nanook? What'd you do to my dog, you asshole? Like that has to go over. You can't handle the truth.
Okay. So your list is now 1BR, Superbad, Twisted Desire, The Outsiders, One of the Guys, A Few Good Men, The Lost Boys, and The Shining.
That's it right there, man.
All right. Now my list, man. So I've got The Woman in Black, 1989, Wrong Turn, 2003, Summer of 84, 2018, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989, Jack, 1996, and top of my list is Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. So Color of Money first. Again, it should be more well known than it is, but I don't think it's more rewatchable than Bill and Ted, so I'm going to put it fourth as well. So, now then, Cocktail. You know what? I'm going to put it second. Move Jack down one. So still, Nightmare on Elm Street's number one for me.
Well, I mean, how can it not be?
Yeah, the original, not the fucking...
No, we're not talking about
that 2009 monstrosity or 2010, whatever it was.
I don't just... No. No.
Ugh. Okay. Now, there won't be a list for the next episode because the next episode is going to be a Christmas special and we're not actually picking two movies each. We're just generally talking about Christmas movies. And yes, Die Hard is included. But before we get to that, we need to finish off this 5 films or less. And I'll be honest, I'm really struggling with it. So far I've got Ralph Macchio. Was in something with Anthony Hopkins, but I just forgot what it was. Oh, let me try and find it again.
All right. Well, mine, I have Obviously, Tom Cruise and Cuba Gooding Jr. Or also in Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
I don't think we're including Tom Cruise in this unless... Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What?
You know, yes, so if we're not including Tom Cruise, because of course he is a connection between the two of them.
Yes.
Alright, so the movie that Ralph Macchio was in with Sir Anthony Hopkins was, if I can find it again, Hitchcock.
Okay.
Of course, Anthony Hopkins played Alfred Hitchcock, and Ralph Macchio played Joseph Stefano, the screenwriter for Psycho.
Right.
So, I mean, Hitchcock's got to be... I don't think he was in anything with Paul Newman, but they've got to have worked with somebody who was in a movie with both of them. I mean, Anthony Hopkins goes back... How far?
Like the 80s, even the 80s.
So Paul Newman, I mean, he's worked with like Tom Hanks, Daniel Craig, Robert Redford. Actually, he worked with Robert Redford twice. Do you know which ones they were?
Boys.
Boys.
What ones?
There was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and The Sting, which is another one of my favorites. Which I've got a really classic taste in movies. I like old movies.
That's good though, man. That
Yeah.
just shows you.
I'm educated.
Hey, man, I'll go back and watch Abbott and Costello hold that ghost all day, every day. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, I was struggling to find somebody that connects Paul Newman to Anthony Hopkins. I don't think Jodie Foster is a connection. Has Robert Redford been in anything with Jodie Foster, maybe? Let's have a look. Robert Redford, Jodie Foster. I mean, I doubt it, but... Oh, wait a minute. Wait, I think they were. Or they were at least working on the same movie together, if we can count that.
All right.
Oh, it's a TV series. Should we... fuck it, let's include it. I think she was in it anyway. Jodie Foster. Oh, shit.
What?
Okay, so... I mean, there's a headline saying there's tension between Robert Redford and Jodie Foster, and a half-assed screenplay killed the Hot Zone movie. Oh, okay, so there was gonna be a movie, but it... Ah, son of a bitch. So close.
Assholes.
Yeah, there it is. In late April '94, Fox announced that Robert Redford and Jodie Foster would be headlining the film, but it didn't happen because they clashed. So they definitely haven't been in a movie together. All right. You know what? I think we may have to come back to this in the Christmas episode. So
Yes.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll come back to it. It's a tricky one. Damn you, Tom Cruise. There's no Reel of Fortune again because the next episode is going to be Christmas movies. And in the meantime, you have been watching / listening to The Captain and Mike Larkin. Thank you for netpicking and chilling with us. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We do now have a Twitter account. It is Netpicks UK. And don't forget, of course, to follow the Four Corner Union account on Twitter, as well as always with the Max Wrestling UK account, and of course the Max Wrestling Facebook group for all of our shows. And I am also living life on Twitter at Dazzy Brand and the Captain 512, and Mike has a monologue.
You can check me out at SM Show 1 or MCL92, LFC_pod, pop_culture_pod, which actually applies because Brittany and I just did a show talking about Christmas, and Miss Brittany Savage is of the assumption that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Yes,
you
it
silly,
is.
silly. There it is. That's all right.
She's going to love the next episode.
Oh, yeah. So here's where it also comes into fruition. Here's the other tie-in, brother. Steve and I just did another edition of the Steve and Mike Show, and Steve and I both agreed that yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So Steve is on the bandwagon, and as we all are, of knowing that friggin' Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So to anybody that doesn't think it is, we'll talk about it next episode.
Yes.
But yo, check it out, Lounge UFC. Check out Max Wrestling UK. Check out myself and Daz doing this Netpicks. Check out StephenMikeShow.com, SoundCloud.com/MCLarkin92. Check us out each and every week on Max Wrestling. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere. Four Corner Union, Netpicks Pod, Twitter, a whole nine, man. We're on that Twitter machine. Give us a follow. We got some follows up in there right now, but we're making these accounts for each and everybody that enjoys all the shows and all the stuff that we say and all the crap that we talk. We walk the walk, balking and balking. I'm just going to shut up now.
Yes, and I did get the Twitter account wrong. It's Netpicks Pod, not Netpicks UK.
I'll say, man, we got how many UKs up in this? Max Wrestling UK. You just want to throw the UK, man.
Whoa.
You rep your country.
I had to go with Max Wrestling UK because some asshole from like 2012 picked Max Wrestling for like a video game thing. But
as long as it's not the wrestling company that's now debunked.
Oh yeah, it was. You know what? It probably was them. The one that lasted like 2 years. No disrespect, Scott Demore. But we digress. Come back next week to Netpick and chill again for Christmas on December 23rd, the night before Christmas. And that is a wrap.